Welcome to the Life After Plus One podcast, where we turn life's lemons into delightful lemonade. Get ready for inspiring stories, uplifting conversations, and all the tips and tricks to rock your single parent journey with style. I'm your host, Leanne, and it's time to embrace the adventure of Life After Plus One. So, let's dive in.
Hello. Welcome back to Life After Plus One. I'm Leanne, your podcast host and your single parent mentor and coach. And today I want to talk about the topic of stepkids, the challenges you have with stepkids and how to get through it. What do you do? So I'm not going to waste any time. Let's jump straight into it today. Now, how do you get through those challenges when you've got a stepkid? They don't want to build a relationship with you. They've got no interest in forming any kind of connection or bond. They don't want to trust you. They don't respect you. They keep saying you're not my mom or you're not my dad, whatever the scenario is. How do you get through those situations when you're trying your hardest to take these kids on board, or whether it's just one kid or however many, and they're not willing to accept you? What do you do? Now, from the get-go, there is going to be an adjustment period. It's going to have some sort of impact on the kids when they're introduced to their mum's new partner or their dad's new partner. Now, you could be moving in together, you could be getting married, and you're now living together and you're now officially their stepmom or their stepdad, or you could have just started dating someone and you've just been introduced to the kids and they don't want a bar of you. They're not interested. You've got to realize there's going to be an adjustment period. It's a big deal as an adult when you meet someone's kids, and it can be quite nerve-wracking. When you're meeting someone else's kids, especially when they're older, you find when they're older, it gets a little bit harder because they have more of an opinion. They've got more of an attachment to the other parent, and they feel like they don't want it to be like there's going to be some sort of divide or push to favor one parent over the other parent. They're a lot more cautious. Where young kids, they tend to kind of cling on to anyone that gives them attention. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but young kids, they don't have that judgment. They don't see the bad side in things. They're just wanting to have fun and enjoy life. So when you're dealing with older kids, well, really with any kids, it is quite stressful to meet these kids for the first time. When you're going into someone's world and you're meeting their kids, it's very overwhelming. It's overwhelming for you as an adult. So imagine how that would be for the kids. Kids don't know how to handle situations like adults do. And let's be honest here, there's a lot of adults that don't know how to handle situations effectively. Take, for example, Facebook world. That is the prime example of how adults do not handle things effectively. So when you're meeting them for the first time, be patient. Be patient and allow them time to adjust to the new situation. Allow them time to adjust. And when I say allow them time to adjust, I don't mean give them a couple of days and maybe after day 3, they're going to wake up and everything's going to be fine and you're going to be all like Brady Bunch family. No. Give them time. Look at us as adults. There's adults out there that take months, if not years, to get over a breakup. So this is a big situation for a kid. So don't expect them to adjust to the situation overnight. It's not going to happen. Allow them as much time as they need. It could be a few months. It could be a year or 2. Whatever it takes, work with them. Don't rush them. Don't just get angry and snarky at them because maybe a week down the track, they're still not settled in, they're still not used to it. And especially if the kids have had to move home. I mean, really, even either situation, if you've moved into their home, that's overwhelming for them. Who's this new person in our home? You're now maybe taking over the TV and you're now watching shows that you want to watch where they used to sit out there and watch their shows. Maybe you've changed the bedtime routine or the homework routine or whatever it is. And they're like, hold up, this is not how our home used to run. This is not how things used to be. That's a big thing for kids. If you're going into their home, you need to be respectful of them. No, they're not adults and you're the adult. Yes, you have a say in the situation. Yes, but you also need to be respectful of them. It's still their home. You can't go into a new home of theirs or a new home of yours, which is their home, and change all the rules. And then you've got the other situation where they might be moving into your home, and that's a big thing for them. Where you've got new kids moving into your home and they're like, well, this is all new. What do we do? How does this work? And that in itself is overwhelming. They got to learn to get comfortable in this new place where they've had their own home, they've had their own things, maybe they've had their own bedroom. Now kids have got to share bedrooms and everything's changed. Maybe they even have to change schools. That is a huge adjustment. And then you've got to take into consideration, does the other person have kids? Are all the kids getting along together? So there's a lot of factors here. There's a lot to take into consideration. So when you're getting into these situations, don't rush it. Don't rush it. It's just like with dating. You don't have to rush it. There's no timeline. So when you're being introduced to someone else's kids or someone else is being introduced to your kids, let it take its time. Go with the flow. There is no rush as to when you should have a perfect relationship, or if you don't have a perfect relationship after a month or two, you just give up hope and you just get the shits with the kids and then give them attitude. How's that going to work? Not very well, I can guarantee it. Take your time with it. Be respectful and allow them as much time as they need to adjust to the new situation. Now, a big thing that a lot of people forget is when you're a single parent, there is that stigma with, single parenting, and there's the whole stigma with single moms and single dads. There's also a stigma that doesn't really ever get spoken about, which is with step-parents. Now, I've been on both sides of the picture here. I've been a stepkid myself when my mum got remarried and married my stepdad, and 30 plus years later, they're still together. I've also been in a situation where I've been with a partner and I've been like a mother figure to his kids, which was my daughter's father. And I wasn't ever a stepmom because I wasn't married to him, but I took on that role. I took on a motherly figure role. I never made her call me mum. It was never like that. But when you're with someone and you're looking after their kids, you're taking on a motherly role. And you've got to be respectful of that. So I've been on both sides. Now, what I was getting at with the stigma is when you're a new person coming into another kid's world, when they've already got a mum, when they've got a mum or they've got a dad that are living in a different home, and then you're now the new father figure that's moved into them, or you're the new mother figure that's moved in with them, they're going to be like, well, who's this person? I've already got a mum. You're not my mum. You're not my dad. Who do you think you are? You can't tell me what to do. That's common for kids to think like this, especially when they're in the teenage years, when they're a bit more sassy and they've got the attitude and they speak up and they're not scared to voice their opinion, because it's a lot. And it is common in that situation for kids to feel like that, to think that this new person is going to take over. The idea when you're coming into this situation is to make it as comfortable for the kids as possible. Because it's true, it does exist. That stigma does exist. And like I said, it's not spoken about. But I know for a fact, and I can tell you firsthand, when I was in that situation of being a stepchild, I looked at my stepdad like he was just out to destroy my life, which he wasn't. And it's not until now, 30 plus years later, I look back and see how much good he did for my life. And I have more respect for him than I do for my own father. And for some people, you might think that's a nasty comment to make, but in my situation where I'm at, he's a lot more present in my life than my own father is. And I put him on a higher pedestal than I do my own father because he's always been there for me. But rewind 20, 30 years ago, I thought he was the worst person in the world. I thought he was out to destroy me. I thought he was just trying to make all these rules and do what he wanted to do. And you know what? Let's be honest. I probably didn't even know. You're in your teenage years. You don't know. So you've got to be mindful of this. When kids have a new person coming into the world, when it's an adult, they don't know what's going on. They don't get it. So these things need to be communicated to the kids. And probably more so before the introduction even happens, or maybe at the start when it is happening. This is all about effective communication. And I talk about this on so many episodes, and I know I've said this on so many different episodes that I am yet to do a whole episode on communication. That's still going to happen because I'm very passionate about this topic. But when you're when you're introducing kids to new step parents or a new partner that's potentially going to be a new step parent, you need to communicate everything to them. Explain the situation, but you need to communicate that. Kids have a right to know what's happening in their own home. It's not fair to make the kids feel uncomfortable or to make the kids feel like they've got to walk on eggshells in their own house, because they don't know what's happening. You need to let the kids know, okay, this is where I'm at. We're at a good place in our relationship. She's going to be staying every now and then. And hopefully later down the track, we get to a place where she can move in for good. I'd really like you guys to all get along together. And then what's even more effective is if Jane can come in and say, I'm not trying to take over your mum. I want you to continue a good relationship with your mum. I want that healthy relationship with everyone. I want us all to get along. And that's what's important. You need to reinforce how important it is that you're not trying to take over the role of some other really important figure in their life, which is mum or dad. Because it's never going to happen. So don't try and be mum or dad. You can be the mum figure when they're at their house, or you can be the dad figure when they're at your house, or whatever house it is. But you get what I'm saying. You're not going to take over the role of mum or dad. They already have that. If they don't have one in their life, then that's a different story. But if they do have a mum, or if they do have a dad, then you can't come into their life trying to be that person for them if they've already got one, unless they're a shitty one that's not present. So if you're wanting the kids to get along with you and you're wanting the kids to respect you, then coming in and showing animosity towards the other parent, or start bitching about the kid's mum or the kid's dad, and the kids hear this, no kid is going to respect you. They're not going to respect you. Trust me, I know it firsthand. I've seen it happen, and it's happened in my personal situation. And it's not nice. No kid is going to want to trust an adult when they hear another adult talking badly of their own mum or their own dad. So if you want your stepkids or your partner's kids to respect you or to trust you or to welcome you, then start by having a healthy relationship with their other parent. You don't necessarily have to go out and be best friends and have coffee every weekend and do whatever else. But at least at pick up and drop off time, if you have to see each other, be civil. Hey Jane, how you going? How's your weekend been? Whatever it is. You don't have to be best friends. It doesn't matter how your partner and their ex broke up. That's not an issue. This is no longer a topic of discussion. The breakup of your partner and their ex, or your ex and then your partner, whatever the situation is, there's too many scenarios here. However, the breakup occurred is no longer relevant. This is now about co-parenting. This is now about the kids. The breakup has happened. The breakup is done. You've now got your new relationship. They've now got their new relationship. Whatever happened in the relationship that caused the breakup with the kids' mum and dad should no longer be a topic of discussion. So there should no longer be bitching about the mum or bitching about the dad or gossiping or whatever else it is about the other parent to your new partner. It's your kid's mum or your kid's dad. It doesn't matter. You don't need to badmouth them to anyone because you're not with them anymore. So it doesn't matter what you think. All you've got to do is put on a nice big smile when you see them. There you go. Here's the kids. Here's this, and pass over any information you need to. Have a great weekend. See you on Sunday, kids. Whatever it is you've got to do. But if you want your new stepkids or your partner's kids to accept you, then the biggest tip, avoid badmouthing their mum or their dad. At all. And if you feel you really need to, which you shouldn't be because it's not your business, but if you feel you need to, don't do it in front of the kids. Because I guarantee you they will never respect you if they hear you bad-mouthing their mum or their dad. So encourage a healthy relationship. And if you need to communicate that to the kids, then so be it. Tell them, I'm here to make things work, or I'm here to get along with both your mum and dad. I don't want any fighting. I don't want any drama. I'm not here to boss you around. I'm not here to do this. I'm not here to do that. I'm here because I'm your dad's partner or I'm your mum's partner. And we both want to spend more time together. And in doing that, I want to spend time with you kids. And I want you kids to start being a part of my world. And in saying that, just off topic a little bit, it is extremely important when you're bringing new kids or your partner's kids into your world, or a new partner is coming into your world with your kids. It's extremely important to never change the priorities. Your kids are always a priority. Your kids are always part of the package. So don't bring a new partner in, or you don't go into their world and change anything for the kids. Or if they've got their set schedule that they do with the kids, or if they've got certain things that they have planned, you don't come in and get all jealous or sad or whatever it is because they've already got plans or because they're doing this. Kids are part of the package. You don't change that deal. That's how it is. If you want to go into someone's world who already has kids, you need to fit into their world. You don't change things to suit you because they've got kids. You fit into their world, and if you don't fit into the world, then why are you going into it? You make it work. So just back on that topic a little bit, just remind the kids that you're not there to be the evil stepmom or the evil stepdad like it's portrayed in movies. It's never an easy task to go into someone's world as a figure of being a stepmom or a stepdad. It's never easy. So take your time with it and let them know that you building a relationship with them is not based on any form of motive. You're not doing it because you're trying to get closer to the dad or to the mom, or because you just want to move in with them because it's financially easy for you. Whatever. You're not doing it for any motive. You're doing it because you're in love with their mum or you're in love with their dad and you want to get closer with them, you want to spend more time together, you want to move in and possibly get married, whatever it is. But there's no motive behind it. And you need to let the kids know that you building a relationship with them has no strings attached. You're wanting to build a relationship for no motive other than you're wanting to be in their world. Let them know that. And sometimes that's all kids need. Kids need to know that they can trust someone. They need to know that they can respect you. And to do that, they need to know that there's no motive behind it. And especially if it's happened to kids that have seen this pattern before. Maybe they've been in a situation where mum or dad has been in and out of relationships and they've met a few different partners and they've had to move into different homes, or they've had different men or different women move in their home and they've seen it before. And maybe the kids are at a place like where, who can we trust? How do we know this is going to be the right person? How do we know? We've seen this before. We've seen heaps of women come and go. We've seen heaps of men. I don't know. Why should we trust this person? Why are they any different? So you've got to be respectful of that. You don't know what the kids have been through prior to you meeting them. So you need to just be respectful of that and take your time with that and let them know that you're not there for any other motive than just to build a nice relationship with them and a nice relationship with their father or their mother or whoever it is in that situation. Now, when you're building trust with kids, it takes small steps. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen gradually. But to do that, there are a lot of factors that you do need to take into consideration. One of them being, don't make promises you can't keep. Because if you do, I guarantee you, they will not trust you and they will not respect you. If you want kids to trust you and respect you, don't promise something and then don't follow through. Don't, for example, if they've got a swimming carnival and you're like, yeah, buddy, I'm definitely going to be there, or their footy match on their weekend, or they've got some sort of awards ceremony at school and you promise to be there, but you don't turn up. And you keep making all these promises and you don't turn up. Why would they respect you? I mean, hey, even as an adult, if someone did that to me, I wouldn't respect them. I'm like, dude, stop wasting my time. Get out of my life. I don't need you. You're wasting my time. So why should you expect a kid to respect someone who's doing that to them? So if you're wanting a kid to welcome you into their world, then don't make promises you can't keep. Stick to your word and be consistent. So don't keep chopping and changing things. Now, ideally, when you're moving in with a new partner and it's their kids or they're coming into your home, whatever the situation is, you both need to be on the same page when it comes to rules. You don't have one parent giving one set of rules and then the partner's giving these rules and they're like, what the hell's going on? And they're just milking it out of one parent because the other parent's giving more lenient set of rules. You both need to have this sorted out before you're in the house with the kids. And most importantly, whilst on that, when you're moving into a new home or partners moving into your home, whatever the situation, you need to have that discussed between you two, what you're open to when it comes to setting the rules. Is there a no-go zone for the partner? Is there something that, nope, I don't want you to deal with that. That's all on me. I just want it. When it comes to that, I just want to sort that out. Or are you happy for them to be on board with everything? And that if something happens, you're happy for them to speak up. You've got to set out your rules with your partner before moving in or before them moving in. And you don't want to have one person setting off something or saying something to the kids and then the other parent gets angry at you because they don't like what you've said, or they don't like what the kids have said, or they disagree with you, or they disagree with the kids, and then it gets into a three-way argument because the kids have got the shits with you and then your partner's got the shits with you as well because they don't like the way you handled it. This needs to be discussed with your partner before moving in with the kids. You need to know where you both stand, what the partner can step up and discuss, or what the partner can get involved in. If you want them to get involved, then say, yep, I'm open for you to get involved in anything. But realistically, if something happened with the kids where the partner didn't like, they shouldn't be discussing that in front of the kids. It should be a one-on-one discussion. So if there's anything that you are concerned about or don't want them getting involved, or things that you need to discuss on what you do with the kids, any rules you have, you need to have this discussed before they move in. So there's no conflict, there's no disagreements, there's no uncertainty of what's happening. So you're both on the same page when it comes to rules. It goes back to being consistent. You need to be consistent when you're giving rules and in anything in life. You can't just say one night, yep, you can have your phone. The next night, no, sorry, no devices tonight. Well, hold up, I can have it tonight. What's going on? It's just like when you're at work and your boss all of a sudden changed the rules and you're like, well, no, that's not okay. What do you mean? And just say 1 week you're working 9 to 5 and the boss just turned around and said, no, sorry, next week you're starting at 7 to 3. And you're like, what? I've always worked 9 to 5. What do you mean? Would you like that? Probably not. Same with kids. You don't just randomly change rules when you've just all of a sudden been doing one thing and then the next minute you just want to change it on them without them even knowing what's going on. Be consistent. Be consistent in the information you're giving them and the rules that you're setting, and make sure you're on the same page with your partner so you're both giving them the same information. And another big thing, to get respect of anyone. This isn't just kids. This is really anyone. Actually, all of this information is really based on anyone. But honesty. Who likes a liar? Lies always come through. Sometimes some people try and do little sweet lies, or they think by lying it keeps the peace and it stops the arguments and it stops the fighting. But they always come out in the end, don't they? And do you know what that always happens? It makes it to be an even bigger argument than what would have happened if they were just honest in the first place. Honesty is always the best policy. Don't lie. If you want anyone to respect you, if you want anyone to trust you, then don't lie. Be honest. Another way to get trust from kids is to show your faults. We're not all perfect. And I do this a lot with my daughter, especially when they're getting to that age where they're very self-conscious and, they don't like when they do things wrong. When I personally do something wrong, I always point it out to my daughter. See, I'm 46 years old and even I make mistakes. I'm not perfect and I'm okay with that. It's okay to point out your faults. And sometimes kids like to see that. It's like, oh, okay, they're not so perfect. Because sometimes kids think that us as adults expect them to be perfect. They think that we expect them to never make any mistakes. But life doesn't work like that. It's never going to happen that way. Kids are going to make mistakes. Us as adults make mistakes. This is how we learn in life. This is how we become a better version of us. This is how we become better people. We make mistakes and realize, oh, fuck, we should not have done that. And then you learn not to do it again. You learn by doing something you shouldn't. So it's okay to point your faults out to kids. Don't act like you're all prim and proper. Don't act like you're perfect. Kids don't want that anyway. No one wants to be around someone that thinks they're perfect because that doesn't exist. No one is perfect. Point out your faults. Talk about it. Show them. Discuss it. And be proud of it. There's no shame in having faults and there's no shame in making mistakes. And if need be, have a discussion about it. Because like I said, in that age where it's pre-teen and tween age, and they're at that age where they're a lot more self-conscious and they think that they can't make mistakes, talk about it and reassure them. Go, yep, it's fine to make mistakes. And also show your feelings. It's okay to have feelings. It's okay if a kid says something to you and it really pisses you off. You're not going to go up to them and say, well, listen, kid, that really pissed me off. You say it in a way that's age appropriate. Listen, I didn't like the way you said that. That really upset me. I don't like it. Can you please not do that again? Show your feelings. Let them know when they upset you. Don't just storm off, slam the door, go in and tell your partner, well, your kid's a little shit. I don't like when they speak to me like that. What is that going to achieve? Absolutely nothing. Well, actually, you'll either get their parent getting the shits at you, or they're just going to get the shits at the kids. And that's going to achieve nothing. So if you've got the shits with someone, don't storm off and go crying to someone else. Deal with it. You're the adult in this situation. Take some time out, take a deep breath, clear your head, and then when you've both calmed down, because you've got the shits where you've needed to storm off, you both need some time to calm down. Then go in and sit down and have a talk to them. But ask them, hey, do you mind if we have a chat? They probably won't want to. They'll probably say, no, not really, or whatever they say. It's always sass, isn't it? But sit down and have a talk. Listen, I was really upset when you said that. I'm not here to make your life difficult. I'm here to help you, but I can't help you when you keep speaking to me like this. Let them know. Let them know how you feel. Let them know you're not a robot and you do get sad and you do have feelings and you do have emotions. It's not about just going, well, they got the shits of me, so I'm now going to get the shits with them. That's not very adult of you to do that then, is it? It's not how you handle life. It's not how you handle situations. And if it is, then you maybe need to work on that a little bit, because that's not going to resolve anything. If anything, it's going to add more conflict to your life. So if someone does something that pisses you off, handle it in an effective way. Let them know how they made you feel. And most importantly, if you've done something to piss them off, go in and apologize. Listen, I've had a shit day. I'm really sorry. I overreacted in the moment and I shouldn't have said that. I apologize. Being apologetic is a big move, and it's a mature move. So if you've done something wrong, own it. Listen, I'm really sorry. I was just in the heat of the moment. I shouldn't have reacted that way. It's okay. That is one way to get respect. When you're being authentic, when you're admitting fault, and when you're showing your feelings, you're showing your real person that you've had a shit day and you just erupted. And that's happens in life. We all do it. It's not just one or two people that it's going to happen to. We all get to a point where we've just had enough and we erupt at the wrong person. So it's usually people that you care about the most, that you get angry the most at. So this is why it's so important to learn how to communicate these things effectively. Someone pisses you off, let them know in a mature way. If you've done something to piss someone else off, especially when it's kids, apologize. Let them know what happened in that moment and make an effort to not do it again. Now, each family environment or step family environment is unique in itself. Your whole breakup situation, how many kids, your current relationship, it's all different. How long you've been single for, how long you've been divorced for, are you fully divorced yet? Are you still going through that process? Are you going through custody and financial settlements? Or have you been single for a long time and you've got a good relationship with your ex? Every situation is different. But when you're handling kids or when you're bringing kids into your life, always remember, would you like someone speaking to your kids in a certain way? If you're getting the shits with someone else's kid, how would you feel if they spoke to your kids that way? It's always important to remember that. Treat them like your kids. And if you don't want to treat them like your kids, you don't want to bring them in your world like they're your kids, then what are you doing in that world? You can't go into someone's world where you just don't like their kids, you're not willing to accept their kids, and you're not willing to make it work, because that's their kids, that's their world. That existed before you came along. They were there, and then you've come in, you've got to fit into their world, and you've got to make it work. You can't change the kids, and you can't change them. Or maybe you need to work on your expectations or being more willing to compromise. So when meeting kids and coming into their world as a step parent or as a partner of their parent, where you'll potentially be on board as a step parent figure in time, it doesn't matter if the kids are 2 years of age or if they're 20 years of age and they've already moved out of home. You come into their world and give them respect and give them the time they need to adjust. Because they could have been in a situation where mum and dad have been together for 30 plus years. All of a sudden, they've broken up. Now, dad's got this new partner or mum's got a new partner. Now they're trying to get adjusted to this new person when they're still trying to process the breakup of mum and dad. They're like, hold on, we're just processing this breakup, this whole divorce situation. Now all of a sudden there's a new person in the world. What is happening right now? It's a lot for the kids. You've got to be respectful of what's happened in their world before you have come along. Now, also, just on while I think of it, another great tip, if you're wanting to build a relationship with their kids or child, however many kids it is, spend some one-on-one time with them. Even when we have with our own kids, it makes a huge difference when we spend one-on-one time with our kids. I love that with my daughter. Mind you, I've only got one kid, so I don't have any other children to really have to worry about and spending quality time with multiple kids. I've only got the one. But when I have quality time with her, it's beautiful. I love it. It's so nice. And it's important to do that. And if you're wanting to build a relationship with someone else's kids and you're trying to get to know them better, have some one-on-one time with them. If it's all the kids all together and you take them out to the movies, or if they're girls, maybe take them out to get their nails done, or take them out for lunch or something. Do something age appropriate where you can spend some quality time with them and they can see the real you. They can see that you're not just a cranky stepmom or a cranky stepdad. You're fun. You're fun to be around. You want them to see that side, not just the serious, nasty dad figure or mum figure that's just come in and blasted all these rules at them and changed their whole world around. And they're like, what the hell is going on? We've just lost our home. We've just lost this. Everything's all changed. This new person's come in and changed all the rules. Don't make it like that. Make it as comfortable and as easy for them as possible. Remember, they're the kids. They're not going to handle things as effectively as we would like them to be because they're kids and they don't know how to. That's our job as adults to teach them this. So spend some time alone with them. Spend quality time with them. Don't just think, because you're not their mum or you're not their dad, that you can't do it. Go out and play tennis together. Go out and pick up a football or a basketball, whatever sport it is that the kids like. Get involved with activities that they enjoy. That is one way to get the kids on board. It's one way to get them to like you. Find an activity that you can do with the kids that they enjoy and they'll want to spend time with you. But remember, you're not doing it in a vicious way to make them like you better. It's not a competition. You're not there to make them like you more than the other mum or to make them like you more than the other dad. They are their parents. That's it. It doesn't matter what happened. It's not your job to change anything. You are the partner of their mum or their dad. You don't change anything. It's not up to you to change their perception on what's happened with mum or dad. You are there to create a healthy environment or to cooperate with their dad or mum in making a healthy environment. So no bitterness towards the other parent, no competition. It's not about ego. They did this or they did that. No. But also keep in mind, in this situation, it can be difficult for the other parent because we all know when you're dealing with those breakup emotions and you're co-parenting, it's quite common for those breakup emotions to take charge of what's happening. You let your ego get in the way. You let your breakup emotions of what's happened in the past with your ex take control instead of putting all those hurt and anger and whatever else has happened from that breakup. Instead of putting all that to the side, you're focused on that. And you're seeing this new person coming in and you're getting the shits. They did this with me. They did that with me. And then you're getting all tit for tat and you're all of a sudden hating on the new partner purely for the fact that they're a new partner. Don't do that. You're broken up. It doesn't matter. Good for them that they've got a new partner. Always keep in mind, you're not everyone's perfect match. So just because you and your ex broke up doesn't mean they're not going to be able to make it work with a new partner. They might not. But maybe they're more aligned with your ex than what you were, and they will make it work. At the end of the day, we are all someone's ex. We all have an ex. That's why we're co-parenting. That's why we're single parents, I should say. We all have an ex. There's no need to sit here and be hateful of our ex or hateful of our ex's new partner, or you don't want your ex to be hateful of your partner. There's no need for that because you guys have broken up. There needs to be a level of respect. You don't need to have any comments on the new partner. You don't need to have any negativity. Now, I don't want to go off topic too much here because this is more getting into co-parenting, which is not what I want to get into because there is another episode which I have done on co-parenting. I want to keep this on step parenting. I'm just talking about how to manage a situation when the stepkids aren't willing to welcome you. And these are some great tips to take on board. And you've also got to remember, if your kids are not, your stepkids are not accepting of you, where is your partner at in this situation? Are they doing anything to help create a nice relationship between you both? Are they encouraging the kids to open up? Are they encouraging the kids to be welcoming of you? Are you being welcoming and accepting of the kids? Because if you're in a situation where the kids are just not wanting to know anything about you, they don't care, they're just like, well, you're not my mum, who are you? Just leave me alone. And your partner is not doing anything about it. They're not shutting it down. They're not stopping it. They're not talking to the kids saying, nope, you need to accept it, or we've all got to get along. Come on, kids. This is, we're all just a family now, or whatever it is. If your partner is not doing anything to improve that situation, then that's a concern. Because yes, your partner needs to put their kids as a priority, but your partner is now bringing you into that world, and they also need to be accepting of you. But it is their job as their parent to speak up and to help create a healthy environment. So if you guys aren't getting along and your partner or the kid's parent is not doing anything to help this situation, that's an issue. That for me is a bit of a red flag. You want a partner where they're going to have your back. And if you raise a concern, they're going to be like, okay, what can we do to make this better? What can we do to change this? You don't want a partner that's going to turn around and say, well, fuck, deal with it. Sorry, they're my kids. If you don't like it, you leave. That's not really cooperating. Now, you don't want them to change things and flip everything upside down just because they've got kids and you don't like something about what they're doing. You've got to learn to compromise, and so does your partner, and so does your partner's kids. So they've got to be respectful of you as well as you being respectful of the kids. So if the kids aren't getting along with you, is there something you're doing? Or is there something that you're not doing that can help encourage the relationship? Is there something you can bring up with your partner where they can help create a nice, healthy environment or a nice, healthy relationship with you all? And if they're not doing that, then why are they not? A healthy relationship is about someone listening to your needs, listening to where you're at. And if they see, or if you raise a concern about something you don't like and they just shut it down, then that's a concern. And I suppose that in itself goes back to my last episode on settling. Is this something you can compromise, or are you just going to shut your mouth and settle? So you've got to work out, settling and compromising are two different things. But if every time you raise a concern and you keep getting shut down, that's not really compromising anymore. But if it's just the one concern you're raising about the kids and that's getting shut down, then maybe that is something you can compromise on. Maybe that's something you need to talk to your partner about and say, okay, what can we do to make this work? Because I don't like this. You're not willing to listen to me. We've got to make this work if we're all going to live together. But at the end of the day, what I'm here to talk about today is the main steps on how to create a nice relationship with the stepkids. And just remember, it's about taking time. Take your time. Don't rush anything. We as adults can take months, if not years, to get over breakups, to get over certain friendships, to get over things that we've been through in life. So don't expect kids to just welcome you with open arms into their world within a couple of days when they're still maybe grieving the breakup of their mum and dad. They're still maybe grieving moving house and whatever else they've been through. It's a big adjustment for kids. Take your time with it. Build trust with them, build respect with them, and take it in small steps. Remember, be honest, be authentic. Admit it when you've done something wrong and talk to them through it. Apologize when you've done something wrong. Show your feelings, show that you're a human being, not just a robot. And let them know you're not there to hate them. You're not there to be an evil stepmom or an evil stepdad. You're not there just to make rules, just to piss them off. You're there because you want to be. You're there because you want to build a nicer relationship with their mum or with their dad. And you're there because you want to build a nice relationship with them. And also let them know that you're not there to take over their mum or take over their dad. You're there for those reasons I just said. To build a relationship with their mum or dad and to build a relationship with them. And don't badmouth the other parent in front of the kids. You are never going to get their respect if you're not showing any respect to their mum or dad. If they've still got a relationship with that other parent and they're going back and forth between houses and they're coming back to you to where you live with their dad or their mum and you're bad-mouthing that other parent, they've lost all respect for you, I can tell you right now. You want kids to welcome you into their world. Don't badmouth their parent. Make an effort to get along with them, even if it's a little fake smile. Hi, Jane. Thanks. I'll see you later. Whatever. Do what you got to do. But don't create conflict with with your partner's ex or with their kid's other parent. Don't create conflict. There's no need for that. It's not your business. You have nothing to do with the ex. You are there as the new partner. Let those emotions go. Let the ego go. It's about doing what's best for the kids. When you're co-parenting, it's about them and doing things to make them comfortable. So when you're wanting to welcome these kids into your world, make sure you're doing it in a way where they're feeling comfortable. Don't make it forced. Don't be fake. Don't be phony. Don't make promises you can't keep. Be honest, be authentic, be fun. Everyone loves a fun parent. Do things that they enjoy. Find out what they like doing. Find out places that they like going to. Take them to a concert, take them to a movie. Do things that they would enjoy to get them to like you, but not forcing it. You don't want to force it. Make it fun, because don't forget that step-parent stigma, it does exist. You don't hear it spoken about, but it's portrayed in movies all the time. That step-parent is always the nasty person, aren't they? They're always the mean one, the stepmom, the stepdad. They always portrayed as the mean parent. You're there for their father or for their mother, and you're wanting to create a nice, happy environment, relationship, whatever, with you all. And have that talk with them. Have the talk with them. Let them know where you're coming from. There's no strings attached. There's no motive. You just want to have a nice relationship with them. And talk to them. Talk to them about their day. Talk to them about what they're doing. Talk to them about their feelings. Talk to them about what they want, what they don't want. Don't rely on your partner to have to do all the work. I mean, yes, they're their dad or their mum, and they should be involved. But if you're wanting to come into their world as their step-parent, then you can still talk to them. You're an adult. Create that conversation. You don't want it to be a three-way conversation, because you don't want it to end up where you're constantly telling your partner, oh, the kids did this, the kids did that. Can you tell the kids to stop doing this? Can you tell the kids they can't do that? And then mom or dad's going on to the kids can't do this. Jane said you can't do that. Jane said not to do this. Jane said not to do that. And then you're there. You're the evil stepmom or the evil stepdad, whatever role it is. Don't handle things in that way. If you don't like something, don't go bitch and moan. Be an adult and handle it. Handle it in an effective way. Talk about it. Just say, listen, kids, that's not okay. Please don't do that. Don't go gossiping. Don't go bitching and moaning to the other parent and throwing the kids under the bus. That's not how you're going to get respect from kids. You're not going to get them to respect you. If you're constantly going to the other parent, bitching and moaning about them, then that parent's going to them saying, oh, come on, kids, don't do that. She complained about that again. Oh, he doesn't like you doing that. Please don't do that. Don't be that person. Speak up. Have a voice. And they're not going to want to communicate with you if you're not even able to communicate with them because you're too busy running to the other parent. If you want the kids to talk to you, you need to be able to talk to them and tell them when something's happened that you don't like, or when you want something different, or when something needs to be changed, or whatever the situation is. Communicate these things with them. Don't go bitch and moan and complain to the other parent constantly, where they're just constantly having to deal with shit that you're complaining about. Talk about things. No one likes that. Even as us as adults, when someone come to us and say, oh, so-and-so said you're doing this and they want you to stop. I'd be like, well, what the fuck? Why aren't they coming to talk to me? Why don't they say something? Okay, you're an adult here. If you're in that situation, don't go running and crying to somebody else. Deal with it, but don't deal with it in a way where you're getting shitty or angry at the kids and you're telling them, kids, no, piss off, just go to your room. I'm not dealing with this. That's not effectively handling a situation. Talk to them. I mean, it's okay. We all snap. We all have our moments where we snap and get angry. Do that if you need to. Have your moment. Have your little vent. But then have your moment to also clear your head and go back and apologize and go back and talk through it. Get the kids' opinion. Ask them what they want. Ask them what can be done differently. Ask them what their expectations are. Just talk to them. Get their point of view. So that's the biggest thing. If you want kids to respect you, then you need to respect them and be able to talk to them. You need to be able to communicate with them. Don't do it through a third person. Get on their level. Find out what they like and join in with them, but don't make it forced. And let them know you're not there for an ulterior motive. You're not trying to take out their mum or dad. You're not trying to be better than any person. You're not competing with their mum or dad. It's not like that. Let them know that. That's how kids will start to trust you and respect you. It's all about healthy communication. Know how to communicate things. Know how to talk to them. And I know when they're becoming teenagers and they're in that pre-tween age, it gets harder. I know. I'm there with my own daughter, not even with a stepdaughter. I'm there with my own daughter, and it does get challenging at times. Just be patient with it. They will come around, I promise. Be patient. Don't just give up on them. They are kids. Keep going, keep being patient, and just keep the conversation going. Keep doing what you can to be involved in their life, and they will come around. Like I said to you, when I was a teenager, I thought my stepdad was the worst person in the world. I thought he was just out to destroy me. And yeah, there were lots of moments where we did fun stuff together and I did enjoy him being around. But it wasn't until when I was an adult that I was able to look back and go, fuck, he was really so much more present in my life and more of a father figure than what my own father was. And sadly, it takes this to happen for us to kind of get to an older age to really look back and appreciate what we had. Don't give up. Don't just try and be this nice person and get to the point where you get the shits and then end up creating a shitty relationship and your partner will end up hating you. Just be a good person. Do the right thing. And even if it takes 10, 15 years down the track to them see the good in you, so what? So what? You're not out to prove a point to anyone. Being a parent or a step-parent is not about competing. It's not about proving points. Just keep being a good person. Keep doing the right thing and they will come around. They will come around. Maybe it'll take 15 years. Maybe it'll take 15 months. Who knows? But just keep being authentic. Keep being you. And don't give up. They're kids. Be understanding of their situation. Kids going through divorce and dealing with breakup, it's a hard thing, especially when that age, when they're going through puberty and they're going through all these emotions and they've got so much going through their head. And now they're dealing with divorce and all this other stuff and friend problems at school and this and that. And then now on top of that, they've now got to deal with a step-parent. Fuck, that's the last thing they need to worry about, right? But that's what they've got to deal with. So just be patient. Be understanding of where they're at. Get on their level and be respectful of them. Don't just shut them down because they've got the shits or because they've got had a shitty day or because they don't know how to handle something. So they just flip out and just walk off and slam the door and then you get the shits at them. No, I'm not saying that you should condone that, but I'm just saying there's ways to handle stuff. Let them handle their emotions. Let them get their emotions out. Let them calm down and then talk to them. Okay, that's not cool. That's not how we handle the situation here. I understand you've had a shitty day, but this is not okay. And lastly, one other thing. Don't get super lenient on rules and everything as a way to try and get them to like you. Oh, Dad said no devices after 8 o'clock, but just you can use it till 9:30. I won't tell him. Don't do things like that as a way to kind of blackmail kids to be your friend. You don't need to do that. Stick with the rules. Be consistent. Because if you keep doing that, they're just going to walk all over you. Oh, you know what? She's going to let us do it. So how about we just ask her and Dad won't even know or Mum won't know. Let's just do that. We'll just go do it that way. And they're going to take the piss out of you. They're not doing it because they like you. They're doing it because they know they can get away with it. That's not building a friendship. You're just getting walked all over. If you want them to like you, be consistent and have your boundaries. Nah, kids, sorry. Dad said 8 o'clock. That's what we're sticking with. We're going to stick with that. I'm sorry. They may hate you for a while, but that's life. That's just parenting. They're going to hate you for a while, even if they're your kids or your stepkids. Just be consistent with what you're telling them. All right, I'm going to wrap that up. But I hope you got some really good information from this. I really do, because it is a tough time. I mean, even if it's just your own kids that are going through these emotional challenges and you're just like, oh, fuck, what do I do? How do I handle this? It's the same if it's your kids or if it's stepkids. We all have challenges. We all have difficult times with our kids. Same sort of process. Just be honest and be there for them. Kids want to know that you've got their back. Be loyal. Have their back. Show up when they need you. That's what kids want. They don't want you to buy them chocolates. They don't want you to just buy them this and buy them that. Money doesn't mean anything. kids want to be shown love. They want to be shown that you're going to be there for them. They want you to show up, be loyal, turn up to those school events, turn up to those sport events, do things with them that they want to do. If they ask to do something, don't keep shutting them down because you don't want to do it. If they want to do something, give it a go. Have a turn. Just say, yeah, okay, we haven't done that before. Let's just give it a go and see what it's like. Maybe we will like it. Be there for them. Show up for them. That's what makes them happy. These are the things they remember when they grow up. They were there when I needed them. They were there at my sports on Saturday morning. They remember those things. If you want a kid to trust you and to respect you and to welcome you into their world, be there for them, have their back and show up for them. All right. Thanks again, everyone. And please, if you have any feedback, if you have any questions, send it through my Instagram at lifeafterplus1 or jump on my website at lifeafterplus1.com. All the information is in the show notes. And if you are after more support or any other programs, I do have quite a few options available on my website. All the details are in the show notes below because it's my job here to make you want to enjoy single parenting. Co-parenting shouldn't be a hard, horrible thing. Being a step parent shouldn't be a hard, horrible thing. Dealing with an ex shouldn't be a hard, horrible thing. There are positives in it. We've just got to find it. And that's what I'm here to do. So if you're struggling with any of those things and you need some extra support or you want some help, jump onto my website or jump onto my Instagram page. Let's connect. Let's chat. Let's see what we can do to make your path that much more enjoyable. So that's it from me today. Thank you again. And if you have any feedback, like I said, share it. And if you're loving the show, give us a review. Share it with your single parent friends. Let me know what you're thinking of the show. And that's it. And until next time, I'll be in your ears then.
Thank you for joining us on the Life After Plus One podcast. If you loved what you heard today and looking for some further support, then jump onto our website, lifeafterplus1.com. Plus, don't forget to check out our Instagram page for further resources and inspo. You can find all the links in the show notes. And remember, you're not alone on this path. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. And in the meantime, keep thriving, keep growing, and keep exploring your amazing life after plus one.